Alright, folks. Monday Night Raw is over. The review is in. Dun 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 dun. I tried to make it sound like the NFL. It did not. Not at all. Anyways, the review is about to begin. It's your favorite time of the week, ladies and gentlemen. Raw reviews. We had the show opening up with Roman Reigns and the Usos in a video package. And it was just them saying, like, basically, they want to keep the family together. They want to run things in WWE again. And that they're the original bloodline, and that everyone should basically fall in line and follow them because they're the original. And it was funny because then at the end they just hold hands and then just slowly go like this. That's what they do. They just stare at the camera. It was awesome. It was the Usos and Roman Reigns. It They always get a pop out of me. I love the bloodline. I always have. But that was basically the start of the show. Seth Rollins went out there as still wearing his big black Batman type coat as he went out there, started talking the schmacker down with Braun Breaker, and he said that basically Braun Breaker took everything from him. If it weren't for Braun Breaker, he'd still be in the main event of WrestleMania. He wouldn't have to face Gunther. He'd be the world champion. He would have beaten CM Punk. He had beaten Cody Rhodes. If it weren't, he should have never took Braun Breaker into his wing, and that Braun Breaker is ungrateful for Seth Rollins trying to teach him. Seth Rollins saying Braun Breaker is the undietable future of this company, the guy who's going to drive ticket sales, the guy who's going to be in the face of the WrestleMania poster boards and all that. And then Braun comes out and says basically Seth Rollins didn't teach him anything. If anything, he became Seth Rollins just turned him into his lackey, and Braun Breaker didn't like that. Seth Rollins made Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed their lackeys, and then he said the whole time you didn't even let us go for gold, no tag titles, no IC, no anything. And he says that all we did was just fight behind your fight your battles instead of doing anything with you. And which is honestly kind of true. You should have at least had him go for the tag title, Seth. What the hell? Like that was waste of talent. And when Braun Breaker went after Roman and beat Roman, that was without you. Uh, which is crazy because the whole story started with Braun Breaker and Paul Heyman and Bronson telling Seth that if you want to respect, you have to defeat Cody Rhodes by yourself at Crown Jewel. And and Seth Rollins did do that. So in reality, what did Braun Breaker turn for? Other than the fact that basically said that he said, "Why did you turn? I was teaching you everything. You're just a young hothead who doesn't know anything." He's like, you're all bronze, no brains." And Seth Rollins is that, and then Braun Breaker says, "We don't need you because you're old." Roman Reigns contribute and said, "You're one injury away from retirement," and I hate to say it, but everyone thinks that. Seth Rollins has been getting injured so many times in his career. He, a lot of people compare that type of statement to the NBA and all that, NFL. Like, a lot of careers get ruined from injury. People don't talk about it much in WWE. A lot of people get ruined from injuries in WWE. Seth Rollins, I hate to say it, but like you're just the lucky lamb that can still go. But I really do think Santa's one major injury away from retiring. So I've learned to just accept and love Seth Rollins no matter what. Um, Basically, yeah, that was the opening segment, and we're getting Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker at Backlash. You gotta be Triple H when you say Backlash. I hope Triple H goes out there in the beginning of Backlash and says, "Welcome to Backlash." Come on, dude, that'd be a big fumble. You need Triple H to go out there. Like Triple H is synonymous with Backlash at this point. Okay, but yeah, that was the opening segment. Once they stopped doing the Seth and Braun segment, we cut to the back where Stephanie Vakira was walking, and the camera panned to her saying she's here tonight, and then the crowd goes nuts, goes crazy, and then she gets attacked by the Judgment Day. And then I thought she'd return later on in the night during the tag title fight, but she didn't. And they said she had an injury and she'll be out for a while. Is that just them using it as an excuse for her to miss Backlash with Liv? Or is she really injured? I don't know. I really don't. All I know is she was attacked by the Judgment Day. They beat her. They shoved one of those crates right towards her shoulder, and they said it was a shoulder surgery, injury. So who knows? I hope it's not really a real injury, and she didn't need to be writing off. For sure, everyone's expecting Liv versus Stephanie at the Clash in Italy, right? I mean, how could you not? Like, the crowd there would go nuts for those two. Like, I'm serious, they would. But not much left to say from that, other than the Judgment Day girls attacked her. Penta and Rusev had a match. It was a great match, phenomenal. Uh, you had Ethan Page out there at ringside, basically just watching and then being part of the match, as in he started basically annoying and rage baiting Penta on the sideline, as Rusev kept taking advantage. Uh, I think next week we're gonna get an announcement about the Fatal 4-Way because you had at the end of the match you had Rusev win by a roll up, which was smart because you can't have Rusev lose cleanly, and then you can't have Penta take a loss, especially as champion. So I say roll up was smart, considering Ethan Page was also a distraction. So it's protected everybody involved. And then Rusev and Ethan Page started attacking Penta. Thus forth, Javan Evans came out and saved Penta, and then they started basically doing a tag team type thing. I think next week we're gonna get Rusev and Ethan versus Penta and Javan, and then it's gonna be announced after the match that it's gonna be a fatal 4-way at Backlash. I really do think that would be a great match. Can you imagine if Ethan Page wins the way he won in NXT with getting hit and then landing on someone? And then you remember when Trick Williams got pulled out of the ring and he had to try to stop Ethan from winning, but he was getting pulled so he couldn't. Like, you imagine that? Like, if, I don't know, Javon Evans hit a cutter and then Ethan Page fell on someone. Or like Rusev hit the Mashka kick and then Rusev was getting dragged out by like a Penta, or was getting dragged out by Javon, and Penta was the one getting pinned, while Ethan Page just fell on him. I don't know. That'd be creative, especially for the main roster people who didn't see that moment or that match. But it was an awesome moment. It caught me off guard for sure during that day. We had Becky Lynch go out there and cut her promo about saying basically that she's now the greatest of all time, greatest female of all time. There's no one that can compete against her. The one person that could claim it lost to Becky. Becky went out there saying that she said she saw her daughter in the front row and said that she has to show her daughter what a real wrestler looks like, what a real model idol looks like. Uh, and then she ended up saying that she has the most wins as a female wrestler at WrestleMania, and that she's coming for the Undertaker's next, which is crazy. But she is young though, so I'm just saying she is young enough to do it. Uh, He ended up doing an open challenge saying she was feeling graceful and nice and wanted to be one of the main people to bring joy and happiness to this company and give someone an opportunity. And you know what's funny? I thought we were going to get an NXT debut. We got Io Sky, or should I say Marty Jannetty, because this is what Becky called her. She said, I was hoping for like a Rhea Ripley to come out, like a Shawn Michaels. And then she said, but I wasn't expecting Marty Jannetty, which is funny because Marty Jannetty will always catch strays for that. I don't know why. Like, could we ever just leave Marty Jannetty alone? I'm trying to think if there's any other tag team where the one person became more successful than the other. You know what's funny? Is people could start saying that about the Usos. Some people will be like, "I want main event Jey Uso, not mid card Jimmy Uso." Ah, I love Jimmy. They could start saying that about Penta and Ray. I'm trying to think of like other tag teams that one flourished way better than the other. Edge and Christian, I guess you could say. No, because Christian won the world title. I don't know. Matt and Jeff? No, yeah, you can use Matt and Jeff. There's a lot of tag teams where one person ended up flourishing more than the other. That's crazy. I guess one really is loved more than the other. But anyways, the person that ended up answering the open challenge was Asuka. Or no, not Asuka, Io. Oh, I basically spoiled what happened. It was a great match. It started picking up. Io and Becky Lynch were kicking out of a lot of cool stuff, and it was awesome of a match. It was a dream match, so of course it was awesome. We had Asuka come and interfere as Io lost her shoe, basically kicking it off. And I guess now we're gonna get Asuka and Io finally. Backlash. And I don't know how I feel about this because we got the Kyrie chance, by the way. This is weird. It feels weird watching it. It makes it. It feels like. Yeah, it feels like if there was three people together, and they were going on continuous trips, like going to one, like they always went to Disneyland during a weekend every year, and then the next year that person like doesn't pass away, but they end up like saying that they can't go, and then you go without them. That's basically what it felt like. The three of you were do something together. One couldn't go, so you're just like, forget him. We'll go by ourselves. You two, and he's left out. It felt like that basically. Like the trio went to Disneyland, but only two went, and then the third one basically couldn't and got booted out. That's basically what it felt like. But yeah, we're getting Oscar back and Io at Backlash. Backlash. I'm not gonna stop doing that, especially during Backlash. You're gonna be annoyed at me during my stream. But yeah, it was okay. It was good actually. You know what? I can't say okay because the match was phenomenal. But the part that killed it was the interference. Yeah, but then again, it did answer my question about WWE wanting to start getting out of the start getting into the uncomfortable and out of the comfortable by doing crazy dream matches on Monday Night Raws or world title changes on Monday Night Raws and pushing women. You know what I'm saying? Joe Hendry went out there with his little guitar and started singing to us the Joe Hendry concert where he started saying, "Can we fire Logan Paul? Logan Paul, Logan Paul." That's not how he sang it, but I just thought about it. Singing it that way. But yeah, basically, Joe Hendry started singing that he's a Monday Night Raw wrestler, singing that he had multiple choices and that he landed on Monday Night Raw. And because of this, I think we are going to get Danhausen staying on SmackDown. Because you can't have. Because I think they want Joe Hendry to be the comedic act on Raw. But then I thought, well, they have R-Truth too on SmackDown. So maybe Danhausen does stay going back and forth. I don't know. Maybe Danhausen does just stay on SmackDown. That'd be funny. It'd be fun. But yeah, did you see the rumor that or the thing that said that SmackDown's going back to 2 hours? Thank God. I love 3 hours. It gave people more opportunities. But even then, I can't say that because they're just basically dragging on stuff and all that. But yeah, going back to 2 hours is pretty good. But then again, it's gonna feel short too. It really is. But anyways, you can't say anything. It's either 2 or 3 until they end up going to Monday Night Raw or Netflix and they have no time limit. Well, people do say that, but on Unreal, they did say that there is time limits on their shows. Just do it like Monday Night Raw, make it 2 hours and 30 minutes or 2 hours and 15. Like, come on. But yeah. Logan Paul went out there, started screaming like a rabid animal, saying, "You can't fire me! You 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 can't fire me! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!" And he says, "You're unsuccessful. You're ugly. You're ugly." Right into front of people's faces, which is crazy. We need more of that. People chanting at the fans again. Uh, we don't get that much. Um, Oscar, Logan and Austin Theory. There you go. Logan and Austin Theory went out there, started talking smack to Joe Hendry, beating him down. Then we had the Street Profits come out again, attack the Vision, and Joe Hendry was happy and thankful for him. And then they went backstage, and Joe Hendry basically said, "Thank you guys," and he said, "You're welcome, but this isn't for you. This is for the tag titles." And then he said they proceed to say that to Seth Rollins as well. Seth Rollins tried to say thank you, and that's why they did it. And they said it's not about you. It's never about you. Always think it's about you, which shows that people still hate Seth Rollins. I love when they do that. When someone's fresh out of being healed, people just don't go back to loving them. And people are just like still hate him. Like you remember when Jey Uso became babyface again, and everyone started treating him like the goat, started dabbing him up and everything, all happy. Him and Sammy. And then Drew McIntyre's like, "Why are you guys doing that? Do you guys not remember who the hell he is? Who he was a few months ago? Like I love when they tell those stories when the people are like, "You were still healed just like last week. What are we supposed to do? Switch up on you and say, 'Oh, you're a good guy now? Dab me up, oos.'" Like, no, you're supposed to still hate him. I love that they told that story with the Street Profits. But I'm guessing the Street Profits are probably gonna get the Vision. Hopefully, a backlash. Oh, but yeah, WWE. My protest is you need to start doing like a 6 match card for shows at least. Okay, please, I'm begging you. We had a Rey Mysterio and El Grande Americano as a match, which this whole thing was weird because they tried to make tall El Grande Americano the heel and the Rios and Bravo, but no one was buying it. Everyone was still cheering them on and saying like it was weird because they're trying to make original Americano babyface, but no one was buying it because everyone loves tall Americano, and it was weird. Like they were trying to make original babyface. No one bought it. Everyone was still booing him. Everyone was still cheering tall. It's I don't know why WWE insists on making original babyface here in America when it's so obvious. Like especially when you're so close to the border with Mexico, you should have known people were gonna still cheer tall Americano. Like if you don't watch AAA, watch it because he's getting Stone Cold levels of pops over there. Okay, he is Stone Cold to them. He getting more bigger pops than Rey Mysterio, more bigger pops than Penta. Like let that sink in. Like he's more popular than them. But yeah, basically just weird all together. I couldn't. Everyone said it was a great match. It was, but I couldn't get into it for the life of me because it was just like, why are we doing it this way? Why are we making tall Americano heel? He should have been babyface. But anyways, it was okay, I guess. But just weird because why make him heel? He should have been babyface. WWE, keep him as babyface. Then we had the Judgment Day segment where the girls are saying like, oh, they're laughing about taking out Stephanie Vaquer and injuring her, and then we get Liv Morgan and Raquel, or no, Liv Morgan telling Raquel to go and wait for us out there, and we'll catch up to you. So I head into the ring. And then Liv talks to Roxanne saying, "How do you feel about being with us?" And then the Judgment Day. Roxanne basically says she's still stuck. She's still with the Judgment Day. She's on their side and everything, since Finn was the one who brought her in. Liv leaves, and not even a second later, Finn's there. Like, did Liv Morgan just not see Finn walk past her through the doorway? I still want to know. That happens too many times with the Judgment Day segments. They walk out, and then one of their enemies or someone they hate walks past them. Like, how do you not win? How are you so oblivious? You remember when Liv was trying to flirt with Dom and all that? She was in the clubhouse, just there. Like, how did no one recognize that? Like, uh, are they just blind? I love that story of the Judgment Day just being blind. It's funny. But the girls that do the tag match, Bailey got pinned. Bailey, listen to me. Listen loud and clear. Go to AEW. You are not loved here. If you go to AEW, you'd be a world champion for like a year there or something. You'd be world champion within a month. People will love you there. Bailey, get out of there. Go to AEW. You are clearly not being pushed as one of the best stars in the roster, even though how good you are. Like, even so many other wrestlers are so open about how good Bailey is. Like AJ Lee, for example, is so open about how great Bailey is. Yet they never push her or anything. They didn't even want to give her the tag titles when there was a story right there. The only true story was Bailey and Lyra got screwed last year, and then this year at WrestleMania they can win the titles. No, you choose the returning Paige that did not deserve the title match. Again, she is Paige, but still, Paige did not deserve that title. Like, get her out of there. And the Bellas, bro, they're part timers. Like, I hate that WWE keeps feeding into the general audience. Like, they gave AJ Lee the title, the part timer. Like, granted, she was there, but she was there, what, in backstage segments, in vignettes, not even in the arena? Like, for all we know, they could have filmed that all in one night at the Elimination Chamber while she was being a part timer. Just for her to lose again. Like, and then when she went on some of these, like, interviews and all that, she wasn't even holding the title in some. Like, I don't know why they did it. They're doing stuff just to do it wrong. Like, it's weird. WWE, we gotta have a talk. But anyways, the Judgment Day girls end up going out there, and Roxanne has a pop, a standing ovation, right? And to the point where they're like, "We want Roxy," and then they're cheering for her nonstop and all that because it's their hometown. And they actually gave her the win. She actually picked up the win. She actually won. I don't know if this was like a number one contenders match or anything like that, but yeah, you know, I don't know if it was a number one contender match. I thought Stephanie would come out and like attack Liv, but I guess not. Liv was just out there still. They ended up picking up the victory. And yeah, that was your main event wrestling match, and it was rightfully so because it was Raquel or Roxanne was getting standing ovations, bro. I thought if there was a place to turn her babyface, it was there. But it didn't happen because you know why? Jody doesn't know what they're doing. A bunch of old heads running a show that they. I still have this theory that a lot of the reason the show sucks is because there's a bunch of old heads living in the old days, thinking the old way. Like, bro, get with the program, please. They don't even look at social media. They state they don't look at social media, and I believe that because I believe that they're so old that they don't want to get social media, and that they're just trying to live off of the crowd. And the reason, and it's bad because again, Jey Uso. Of course, people are gonna eat with him, but no one likes him on the internet. And then once the eating's over with, I was there one time. The eating was over. No one cared about his match. No one really cares about his match, like until he starts doing yeet stuff, and it's just fun to yeet. But maybe that's what it was with DX. But you can't even say that because Shawn Michaels is an all-time wrestler. So who knows? Then again, I'm gonna tell you right now, some of that stuff gets old. It does. Like you can't keep going it forever. Roman Reigns went out there saying for that he made the title relevant and that the title that was made in despite of him, he ended up making great again and irrelevant. And he's the reason the title's on the map again since CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and everyone else couldn't do it. So he had to step up and do it. And Jacob Fatu goes out there saying that he needs the stuff again and all that, and that he didn't need a week, he didn't need an hour, he didn't need a minute. He knew right then and there what he was doing when he challenged Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns says, "Are you sure?" And then Jacob says, "I'm sure. I've been this hungry ever since when I was grinding on the indies and all that." And Roman says, "Oh boo hoo," and he ends up snapping and grabbing Roman right here. I can't remember what family member did that, but yeah, basically it's gonna be Roman versus Jacob Fatu at Backlash. At Backlash. That's the Yap session. That's the review right there. Roman Fatu. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a great match. I still don't know what the plan is for the Usos. If Jacob wins, does he take over the Usos, the entire family? But then again, he did say he didn't want that. He doesn't want the family. I don't know. I'm just here to review this. I'll tell you my predictions at some point. But yeah.